What is going on, everybody? In this video, we're going to break down what I believe is the best kept secret when it comes to trading tokens. A tool that I use every single day and gives me an edge on the market, helping me navigate what it is I've been buying, what I want to stay away from, and so much more. So let's just get right into it. That tool is Bubblemaps. Bubblemaps breaks down holder distribution, gives you better insight onto what tokens and how they're dispersed, if there's insider bundling, which many people are familiar with on meme coins, if there's any sketchy activity going on, big wallets sending to other wallets, people getting tokens that they didn't buy, all the metrics that you want to use to analyze exactly what a token is and how the holders are distributed. It gives you a slight edge when it comes to analyzing the markets. And the best thing is, tokens on Bubblemaps and breaking down using Bubblemaps will help you make better analytical decisions on if that token's worth picking up, when, why, and where. So first things first, they got a ton of different chains. It's truly a cross-chain platform. ETH, Binance, FTM, AVAX, Crypto.com, Arbitrum, Polygon, Base, and Solana. Obviously, with meme coin meta heating up right now, the best thing in my opinion is to look at the Solana meme coins. So if we wanted to take a look right now, we can see they recently list, so they index extremely quickly. Of course, let's dive into one and start to get some insight on what I think a bubble map may look like. This first one, Moodang. So we can even see right off the bat, there's a lot going on here. So each one of these little dots, each one of these little circles is a holder. And based on the size of that is how much they actually hold. So what that means is if we click on it, we can see this holder holds 0.2%. We start going further out, 0.1%. Bigger circles, they hold 2%. And what these clustered ones are. So we can actually see right here, this is KuCoin's wallet. So on top of that, we can even understand if exchanges are holding certain tokens. So we can see here Moodang is held by KuCoin. They hold about 25% of the total tokens. Another one is Gate.io. They also hold about 25% of the tokens. If we want to separate these to see where they go, we can see some overlap. So KuCoin is actually interacting with Gate.io, two massive exchanges, getting some legs, getting some exposure, getting some insight on this, and helping us understand where these tokens are, who's holding what. Another nice thing here is these yellow dots. We can actually see two wallets that transfer frequently amongst each other. So maybe they're bundled. What that means is a user who sends back and forth to try to increase the holder distribution ratio and make you believe there's better holder distribution and better holder analytics than actually are. We can see this cluster is only about 0.4%. So they basically just split it across wallets. Nothing too crazy. And the other thing here is that this helps me identify what's a good token to buy. Based on that Moodang chart, circling back to it, this is actually not a bad buy. We can see no major holders in the top 10 hold more than 2%. So maybe that's a decent opportunity. On top of that, two exchanges are in here. So some decent interest there when it comes to exchanges. Maybe that means they're going to get listed on Gate and KuCoin. We can start making some analysis and some decisive decisions on the back of that to determine, is price going to go up? Or is somebody with a ton of holdings going to nuke on us? So always some interesting things there. We can view all listed. So if we wanted to keep taking a look, let's take a look at this one. Fat Cock, Jesus, terrible name. But we can actually see some interesting analytics here. This large blue circle shows that two wallets hold 4.7%. And there's a little bit of clustering, a little bit of bundling here where wallets are transferring back and forth to try to separate the holder distribution. The other thing is one wallet holds 7.3%. Personally, I'd probably stay out of this because right here we can actually see a reward wallet, which is interesting. Don't know what that is, but it's a vanity wallet. The top holder holds 7%, and the top 10 across the board right here are holding about 15% of the token. I'd probably stay away from this solely because 15% is a lot, and negative sell pressure would probably drop this token down pretty substantially. So I like that top 10 to be less than 10% ideally, and have a wide holder distribution across the board. It's a little tough because obviously 10%, I mean, if we have half percentages there, they only own 5%, that's beautiful. But it just helps us start to make quicker decisions because we can pop this up quickly and take a look at different tokens in real time. Perfect example of this one, popping up Popcat. We can see Bybit holds 7%. Kraken in this as well, Gate.io, bunch of exchanges in here, which is really strong, and great holder distribution outside of that. Even the exchanges only hold about 2%, which feels pretty good in comparison to that when you break down those top 10 percentages. Now, if we wanted to actually pivot and see how we can use this in real time trading meme coins to quickly identify if a token's legit or not, something like BullX, which is my preferred trading platform. We work with them, of course. And the best part about this, if we want to dive in, we see Capybara is about to migrate. Really quickly, what I can actually do here is open up the bubble maps on this chart. We see it's ran pretty hard right off of its lows at 25K all the way up to 44K. Let's open up this bubble map and get some clear insight and if Capybara token as a meme token could maybe run. So as we open this up, decent bubble map. No major holders holding more. But what's interesting is all these are really close in percentages really close. So almost all 3%. I don't really like that. You want a wide distribution. And as we pop open the holders tab below, we can see why. A ton of insiders, which means that these tokens were transferred to these users without them buying it. So we can see that they got 34 million tokens without purchasing any of them. This user 37. So with all of these various rat icons and the bubble maps all showing similar sized token holdings, I'd stay away. That usually means the token's bundled. So we'd pass on Capybara. Taking a look at another one. Let's take a look at one that's actually ran a little bit. Snowcat, 418K market cap. Holders, first things first, still pretty bundled. We don't have these like nice little icons that we get. But let's open up this bubble maps and see what we got. So 418K. And as the bubble maps loads, we can get a quick insight. Still some pretty big holdings. Wallet 1, 3, 2 own 20%. I'm staying away. Way too large of these circles in a token like this. Because the whales dominate the market here, any sell pressure will nuke this chart. So I'm staying away from this, even though it's somewhat ran. It's not a good distribution. You want quality distribution. So great example here. If we look at something like Goatsy Maximus, which has been running recently, diving into the bubble maps of this, I think is going to be really interesting and show a very diverse holder base, which is great to analyze and figure out what makes a token run to $300 million in 3 days. Very quickly, none of these top 10 holders own more than 1.5%. The number one holder owns 1.3%. Very low pressure on the number of holders. 23,000 holders, so a wicked high number of holders. Some insiders, which does have me a little nervous, but clearly it's working out. None of them hold more than 1%. Probably holders that got in early that are dispersing this. And maybe we can even take a look at this contract and put it into Bubblemaps to see if Bubblemaps' full site has started supporting it. They haven't yet. No worries. Benefit of this, we can still quickly look on BullX and get these clear insights. So other things that I like to look at here as we zoom down, take a look. They even have what's been rugged. Great analytics on that. Just immediately tells you if a token's been rugged, gives you these alerts, and now you know probably not to buy into a token that has a giant red rugged logo next to it. Very clear to see. Cardi B's token, this is a terrible bubble map. Absolutely awful. Look at all of these clusters going on. 6.5%, 6.9, 4%, 5%, 5%, 4%, 3.8. All of these are main wallets that transfer to a bunch of others. Seeing this many is terrible to me. You're looking right now, and what'll actually happen is it'll highlight and show you the other wallets that have interacted it. So the number 12 wallet has sent tokens to 41, 48, and the list goes on and on, 77, etc., etc. I'd stay away from this. Like, these are just bad bubble maps. You want one with a good diversity, good separation, small bubbles to help make a better decision on what actions to take. So we've broken down a couple charts here in real time. We looked at bad charts, what I stay away from. We saw a handful of good charts when you look at something like a Popcat and even Moodang. But when it comes to the more recent charts, I like smaller circles. I like no transfers. I like using multiple tools. So in this case, Bubble Maps and BullX to show the insider ratios and figure out quickly if a token's worth diving into or not. Because you can very quickly identify transfer rates, insider holdings, rat icons, all these other key things that make sure you don't get rugged. Bubble Map is hands down the best tool in my opinion that I use every single day when trading to quickly analyze a token and figure out, is it worth it for me to dive into this and take a swing based just on the holder ratio? Do holders have massive supply that they're going to dump on me? Yes or no? Is there a lot of clustering and bundling? Yes or no? If none of these things line up and the holder distribution looks decent, it's probably a good chance that we could see more positive price action. But I'll let you take a swing at this and let me know in the comments below if you've used Bubble Maps, what you like and don't like, and where you found success or even headaches from the product. As always, if you like this video and learned a thing or two, hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep it easy, and we'll catch you next time.